We have some good things happening now. I'm really excited about redeveloping the Town Crest area and making that a big urban renewal project, because that land is there and it's not paying a lot of taxes now. But all the infrastructure is there.
Oh, yeah.
So that'd be an exciting project to get that going again. And we'll do it like we did the Sycamore Mall. We'll use a private developer. Probably have to help them out economically with TIFs or something.
Right.
But that's an exciting project, and I'm looking forward to that.
We've definitely seen some success with the tax incremental financing.
Iowa City's been very successful with it. And we do it a little differently, and the people don't really understand this, but we do what we call a tax rebate, and that means you have to meet certain conditions that you said you're going to meet, and then we rebate the taxes to you. If you haven't met those conditions, then we don't rebate the taxes. And that's a positive way to do it. Then people have to keep moving on to do what they're going to do.
Well, and then the proof is in the pudding.
And then the proof is in the pudding, that's right.
And then, of course, urban chickens, the hot button issue. Now, I'm not sure exactly if I know exactly where you stand on the chicken issue.
I'm the one who took it off the table.
Right, originally.
But when I took it off the table, I said, let's don't bring it up until the new animal shelter is built. And then it can be discussed, because right now they don't have any place to put stray chickens, and there will be stray chickens.
Sure.
People will dump them like they do cats and dogs and birds and everything else.
Well, I think there was even an article in the Press Citizen the day it was taken off the table.
Right.
That someone let all their chickens loose, and there was
well, they put them by city council members' houses. I had 3 or 4 in front of my house, and my neighbor knew that I had said to her, and she's partially deaf, and I said, well, maybe I'll get some chickens for my grandchildren, but I said it with inflection that meant I was just a joke.
Right.
But she thought that I meant it. So she knocked on the door that morning and said, I think your chickens are loose. So it was a kind of a humorous little pun, but they did take 3 days to collect all those chickens.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so it did cost a lot of city time to collect them.
Yeah.
I'm not against it. I'm totally willing to discuss it.
Yeah. Yeah, people have lots of different concerns with the urban chicken issue, but it'll be interesting to see how that one pans out.
Well, a lot of places have a policy that allows urban chickens. There aren't a lot of urban chickens out there, even though there's a lot of places that allow them. I think in Madison there are like 60 urban chicken permits. Wow. And if people read the stipulations in our ordinance for urban chickens, you'd almost have to build a castle to put these chickens in. So I don't think a lot of people are going to be willing to do that.
Well, what else besides the chickens? What else do you see?
Well, I thought
really
of a couple. Well, I think a major thing is going to be the new city manager search. That's going to take a lot of time, and we're going to have to do a better job than we did the last time.
Now, the council has hired a firm.
We haven't hired one. We put out.
You will be hiring.
Yeah, we're getting people sending us documents, and then we'll go through all those documents and then pick 5 or 6 research firms that we'll actually interview. And then we'll decide which one we're going to use. So that'd be exciting. I'm sure we have a lot of research companies that would love to come here and do this for us. And we'll have a good choice. We'll have a lot of good choices.
Now, can you explain the necessity of hiring a firm? Because I think some people look at that as a pretty major expense.
We absolutely will not get any applications without a firm. People want these applications kept secret, basically. They don't want where they're at. They don't want that city or that area to know that they're looking for a job.
Right.
And they will know what they get to be a final interviewer, then it becomes public knowledge. But they're not going to send resumes to Iowa City knowing that that would become public information.
Right, that makes sense. And the actual expense of hiring a firm, in the big scheme of things,
it's pretty small.
It's pretty small.
We're not paying a city manager now, so it'll probably cost us somewhere between $17,000 and $25,000 for a firm. We already have a lot of materials that we can reuse by just updating them. That'll save a tremendous amount of time and energy, and so it's well worth it. It's a lot of money to you and I, but it's a pretty small amount of money compared to the city budget.
Well, Connie, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll be back in just a moment, and Connie will be sitting down with Ernie Lehman, former mayor of Iowa City, to discuss the city manager search.
The census only asks a few simple questions like age, date of birth, just a few simple questions.
For college students, it's only 7 questions. That's 7 minutes of my life that I'm making a difference.
It takes longer to find parking on campus than it does to fill out the census.
It's illegal for the census to share your information with anyone. The census is prohibited from sharing any information you tell them, so it's all 100% confidential.
Ernie, thanks for joining me on this show. In case people aren't familiar with Ernie Lehman, he's a past mayor of Iowa City, and everybody loves Ernie, including me.
Yeah, right.
And as you know, we've asked some former mayors, to help us with the selection for the new city manager, since we had some problems with our last selection. And we're hoping that you can give us some insight into that. And one of the questions I wanted to ask you, what things did you like best about Steve Atkins, who was actually an incredibly well-liked city manager by the city councils and was here for 21 years? What made him so good that he could stick around for 21 years?
Well, I think he was that good. He was tremendous. But Steve was about as non-political as you can possibly be. Now, I'm not saying Steve didn't have political opinions, but you and I both served on the council with Steve. And Steve tried as much as he possibly could to stay out of politics. He was an administrator. I think he was a very good administrator. He had a very unique ability to work with the council. And we had councils, as we both know,
yes,
with some, we had diversity.
We
certainly had diversity
and
adversity. You're right. And he had a really unique ability. He respected every single council person the same, regardless of their behavior and their opinions. But he was non-political and very respectful of the council, and he was, I hate to use the word demanding, but I think he required a very, very high level of professionalism and performance from his employees. We obviously have a tremendous staff at the Civic Center, and I think that's a tribute to Steve.
Oh, I think you're absolutely right, that we have an incredible, mature, experienced staff. Do you think that's detrimental to a new city manager?
I think it's a tremendous benefit.
Right.
And any new city manager is going to have the benefit of Dale Helling.
Who's fantastic.
And Dale really is, he is so much like Steve, I believe. Very non-political, very respectful of the council, of the folks who work for him. But I believe that the job of city manager of Iowa City has got to be one of the real plums out there. A great staff, a tremendous assistant to kind of help you learn the ropes. We should have some tremendous applications.
I think we will too. And I do think Dale Helling, I mean, that's the beauty of Dale. He's doing such a great job, is we can be really fussy about when we bring somebody in here.
Well, and we should be. You know, I think that we, as a community, it shows in our school system, it shows in our health care. Iowa City is a very special place, and we don't want an ordinary sort of person as a city manager. We want an extraordinary sort of person, because that's the kind of community we are.
And what kind of questions do you think we should have asked that we might not have asked of the people we interviewed for the city manager's job? Do you have any specific questions that you want to ask?
Well, you know, I would like to know why any city manager is interested in leaving a position where he is now working. I think that's, many leave, I think, to move up the professional ladder. Those are the kind of people we're looking for. There are people who leave because there are problems or issues that they have not been able to deal with. I don't think those kind of folks are necessarily the kind of people we're looking for. I do think we need to determine, I don't know quite how to phrase it, but we need to know how politically active a city manager is, where his ability to be involved and at the same time be as non-political as he can. I think we need to know the relationship he's had with the staff where he presently is employed. We need to know the financial rating of the city he's coming from. You know, our AAA bond rating, Tuesday night you just reissued some bonds saving the city $2 million because of a AAA bond rating.
That was actually an A bond rating. That was a revenue bond.
Right, for
and
sewer.
That's rated differently. Right. But we've been able to save $17 million on those bonds, on those water and sewer bonds, by just refinancing with our good rating. The AAA rating saves millions of dollars. Absolutely. And it's just something we've stressed as a council to keep, and we certainly, I know you did stress it too. And
you know, and that's the other thing about Steve Atkins that I love. we think that we stress AAA bond rating. We never stressed that
No,
at all.
did.
He did, but he made us think it was our idea.
Yeah,
and we had tremendous